Hi guys, my name is Pawan and I welcome you all towards my YouTube channel. So guys, today we are going to discuss on 2nd PUC English, that is on chapter 13, where there is a wheel. We'll be covering up all the important one markers question which you can normally expect from this particular chapter. And guys, trust me, the first main of your question paper of 2nd PUC English is very easy, in which you can normally expect one question each from every chapters and certain limitations on certain chapters where it has more than one questions. So guys, do your very well best. So along with your preparation for 4 markers and 6 markers, give even more importance to your 1 markers. I've even uploaded all the videos of 1 markers of 2nd PUC English. You can find it in my playlist. I'll also be putting that link in the description box. As such, you guys can even refer upon that. So guys, all the question, whichever I'm going to display it over here through the screen, you can basically understand that I've been collected from the previous 10 years question. So this is basically to make sure that you have a proper analysis on what are the important questions you're supposed to prepare, plus what kind of questions normally the board asks. So this is just an initiative to help you guys. So as being said that, let's get started. So the first question is, what has been a chosen medium for rural women of Pudukkottai? And the answer is cycling. So guys, as you all know, cycling is a medium which has been used by rural women to empower themselves. The second question is, whose brainchild in the cycling movement according to P.Sainath as mentioned in Where There Is a Wheel? Or you can expect this question different way by who included mobility as a part of literacy drive. So the answer is Sheela Rani Chunkath. She is the brainchild in the cycling movement. Or we can also ask in different way, that is basically who included mobility as a part of literacy drive. And the answer is Sheela Rani Chunkath. The next question is, name one of the women who have trained young women from their community in the art of cycling. So who was the women who have basically trained the young women in the rural areas basically to empower them? There are 3 women. You can write any one of the names because it is normally asked for 1 mark, right? So the answer is Jameela, Fatima or Avakanni. You can write any one of the names. You can write Jameela, or you can write Fatima, or you can write Avakanni. So just be prepared even with the spellings. Please don't make any kind of mistake on that. So the next 4th question is, in which district of Tamil Nadu, according to P.Sainath, has cycling been a social movement? Or they can ask this question a different way. Where did the cycling movement start? And as we all know, it's the Pudukkottai. So Pudukkottai district of Tamil Nadu was a place where the cycling movement was started. So as such, kindly remember the spelling and please don't make any kind of mistakes in the spellings, because Pudukkottai, if you are facing difficulty for studying the spelling, split the word. As I said earlier, Pudukkottai. So Pudu, P-U-D-U, and then Kottai, K-K-O-T-T-A-I. Split the word. So this is a normal technique which I normally tell my students to remember while particularly studying this chapter. So 5th question is, name the person who wrote the famous cycling song mentioned in Where There Is a Wheel. So who wrote the famous cycling song? And it is one of the important questions, guys. The answer is Muthu Bhaskaran. So Muthu Bhaskaran wrote the famous cycling song. 6th question is, what did Muthu Bhaskaran compose? The answer is the famous cycling song. So you can see how the 5th question is completely similar. They can ask the question in different context. So that's the reason I've just put up this question in a different way. So now let's look upon to the 7th question. Name the Arivoli activist who penned the famous cycling song which later became their anthem. And the answer, as we all know, it's Muthu Bhaskaran. So guys, you can see how the 5th, 6th and 7th question is co-linked and the way of they asking this particular question in different context. So make sure that you prepare in a well-defined manner this particular answer, because it was one of the constantly repeated questions of your previous year's board papers. So as such, kindly give a little more importance on that. 8th question is, who was the pioneer of the cycling movement? Or they can ask this question in a different way. That is like, who was the central coordinator of the cycling movement in Where There Is a Wheel? And the answer is N.Kannamal. N.Kannamal was a central coordinator of the cycling movement. So one more thing which you guys are supposed to know, that he has also said that cycling is a Himalayan achievement. They can also ask the question in different context. Who had said that the cycling is a Himalayan achievement? And the answer is N.Kannamal. So make sure that you prepare in 3 diversified manner, which I've just put up on the screen, on the 3 different ways of answering this particular kind of question. 9th question is, why did some women prefer gents cycle? Because lack of female cycles available in the market. Because of lack of female cycles available in the market, many of the women are opted for men's or gents cycle. The 10th question is, who took part in the cycling movement? Or they can even ask this particular question in a different way. It's like, who started the cycling movement? And the answer is neo-literate rural women. So neo-literate rural women had started the cycling movement, as well as they also took part in the cycling movement. 11th question is, what had stunned the inhabitants of Pudukkottai on International Women's Day? And the answer is Women's Cycle Rally. The Women's Cycle Rally had been stunned the entire district of Pudukkottai, in which it was a huge change movement which was being brought up during the International Women's Day. And that was a shocking, stunning moment for the inhabitants over there. The 12th question is, why did some women prefer gen cycle? I've repeated the same question because it was one of the constant repeated questions. As such, I thought it could help you. And the answer is because of lack of female cycles available in the market. 13th question is, what did UNICEF sanction for Arivoli women activist? As you all know, UNICEF had sanctioned 50 mopeds. They can also ask this question in a different way. Who sanctioned 50 mopeds? And the answer is UNICEF. So make sure that you prepare with both the names. It's about the UNICEF. UNICEF sanctioned 50 mopeds, or they can also ask like 50 mopeds was sanctioned by whom? And the answer is UNICEF. The 14th question is, what is bicycle metaphor for? And the answer is freedom. The bicycle is a metaphor for freedom because it is a aspect which is basically empowering the woman. So bicycle is something which is empowering and enriching their different aspects of their life, or empowering them. The 15th question is, what resulted out of cycling? And the answer is women got independence, freedom and mobility out of cycling. So what resulted out of cycling? What is the main impact of cycling? Why was it introduced? It's basically where women got independence, freedom and mobility out of cycling. The 16th question is, S. Kanakarajan is a single dealer of RAM cycles. They can ask this question in a different way. They'll ask, who was a single dealer of the RAM cycles? And the answer is S. Kanakarajan. They can also ask, S. Kanakarajan was also the dealer of which cycles? You can also write it as the RAM cycles. So he supplied bicycles to women. 17th question is, the literacy movement was called Arivoli Iyakkam, and that can also be referred to as the light of knowledge movement. So they can also ask the question in different contexts. What was the literacy movement called as? It is called as Arivoli Iyakkam, and the literal meaning of Arivoli Iyakkam means the light of knowledge movement. So guys, that's all for today. We have covered up all the important 1-markers question from this particular chapter. In the description box, I'll also be putting up an external link of KSCB solutions of this particular chapter. If you want, you can even refer that, but don't dive more into it, because if you suffice with your preparation very well for your 4 markers and 6 markers, plus all the 1-markers question if I'm giving it to you, that can basically help you out. But if you want an external revision or external preparation, you can even refer to that link. So guys, that's all for today. So by this, we cover up all the important 1-markers of this particular chapter. And as per your revised syllabus, only still this particular chapter 13 is there part of your syllabus. The next chapter, which is the 14, is basically removed. But however, if later date, if it is added in your syllabus, I'll also be putting up a video on that. So guys, that's all for today. We have covered up all the important 1-markers concept from the chapter 1. That's from Romeo Juliet to the present chapter. So make sure that you have a constant practice, revise every day, write down all these questions in a separate book and practice along with your 4 markers and 6 markers, and constantly revise and believe yourself. So guys, that's all for today. Thank you. Goodbye. And if you do like this video, please do like it, share it and subscribe. Bye.